See them papers, I'ma be to serve you with the chopper, I'm a waiter. Yo, bitch, NG's fucking with me cause I'm most fly. And I'm cutthroat, boy, barbed wire bow tie. Coming for your neck if you come with disrespect. How the fuck you even coming? You ain't coming with no check. Taking everything gang, here to put it on the set. Niggas acting for the drama, only do it on the set. Muscle for the hustle, heavy raps by the set. Went from walking through the jacks to parking Martins near Jet. Putting hours in, nigga, that's what I was about. Hear this if you feel this, fuck whatever's out of coward mouth. I don't just do it, I overdo it, meaning do.
All right, D-Rick.
What's the word?
We are on Straight Up No Chaser, episode 2.
Yeah.
What's going on? How you?
Shit. I'm good now. I got this goddamn drink going now.
Cheers.
We done started this shit a little too early. I'm ready to go now. Shit.
So you have a newly released album. It's been a couple months. About what, 2 months now it's been out?
So since October.
Okay. So Here and Now.
Yeah, Here and Now.
What does that title represent? What made you name it Here and Now? Because you've been rapping for a minute.
Yeah, been rapping for a minute.
To me, this album, not to cut you off, was like I am here like a debut. Although it's not, you're not new to this.
Right.
But it was very much so different from any Detroit sound that I've heard.
I appreciate that. So yeah, the title, I didn't want to be too extra with it, and I didn't come up. I told myself I wasn't gonna try to title the project until after it was done. And after we had listened to it and went through it a few times and really tried to extract what it made me feel like after I heard the finished product and just what it sounded like, considering what that kind of brought me to the space to even really want to create and push it seriously. It just felt like that, dealing with my team, Secret Garden, La Familia, kind of like putting everybody in the room. It kind of was like, we here.
And what do they do exactly for you in production and writing? And
so Secret Garden is basically the management side of my affiliations. It's important to me that everybody I work with, it's a real relationship. It's no like hires or recommendations. Like Secret Garden, shout out to Dan's, Roast Spit. These are guys that I've been friends with outside of business. Like literally, these are my guys. And so knowing some of the things that they've been trying to do and have been really looking to do secretly, people didn't even really know, when they really put that Secret Garden brand in motion with the parties and all of the other events that they did.
Secret Garden party.
Yeah, they was lit. They've been lit. It just made sense. It was just kind of all of us finding this new space. And so we all sat down just, like on some good fella shit and said, hey, and these are guys that I trust. I've watched do business over the years just from afar, right? So it wasn't an impulse like, oh, these are my niggas, so I might as well rock with them. So that management and understanding that I needed help. It was a lot of things I didn't know.
You can't do everything on your own.
Can't do everything.
So speaking of Goodfellas, La Familia.
Yeah. So then La Familia is myself, my main man Ken, that's my actual cousin. Again, I like to keep it family, and just shout out to Weez, another artist who's coming up under that along with.
Feature on the album.
Right.
Including Row.
Absolutely.
Got a nice joint together.
Yeah, me, him, and 6 a.m. Again, that's a part of that Secret Garden tree.
The umbrella.
Yeah. And just all of us coming through 2020, some of the experiences that we've all seen, it was just really important for, it's really good to just be around niggas who not hating. Absolutely. Niggas who really want to see other niggas win. Ain't nobody like, no, you with us. You know what I'm saying? Even with like Weez, there's a loyal fam. And the niggas that we've been cool with and have relationship with, and we've been around just in the trenches and on the other side, knowing that people that we fuck with really want to get into this industry and been looking for some entry points.
But do you feel like, because you as a person, you're a loyal person? I felt that the first time I met you.
Yeah.
That you are going to surround yourself, even on a universal level, though you're going to attract those type of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the energies are going to feed off each other. So I feel that with everyone that you work with, because you represent that.
Yeah, and I think that's why it just all makes sense. And so like I say, the La Familia end is more so the artist. Like shout out to young Cam De Niro. He recovering right now from a little sitcho. He gonna come back strong as hell. I'm really excited. I put the studio in the spot and we just been working. And so La Familia is us trying to take the things that we're learning from dance, things that we're learning from Row, things that we're learning with Secret Garden, and them being gracious enough to give us game and say, hey, now you could take that, because everybody can't work every situation. And it's really good to be around niggas who understand that and respect that and not trying to bombard that, but really support that. And so I kind of liken it to, just imagine if Rockefeller got established while pulling state property up at the same time versus it already being established and then kind of saying, all right, you little bro now.
Right.
Now it's like, you know, Secret Garden, La Familia we're all learning and benefiting from each other together. And so it's so many things that I'm grateful to be a part of from both sides. And I recognize that because I do exist in both worlds and the relationships are genuine, I kind of felt like it was my responsibility to see to it that we blended it.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
The track talk crazy. It reminds me of Griselda. The beats that Hit Boy is doing for Being a Butcher, West Side Gun.
Right.
That whole, I love Griselda.
Yeah,
actually,
shout out to them.
I really fuck with them. So when I heard that song, the beat was like, this remind me of some Griselda shit.
Yeah.
Not in comparison to you as an artist.
No, I know what you're saying.
Almost in a way, because I feel like, again, you give me that New York feel.
Yeah.
The wordplay, the slower, you know, it ain't hype. On the Detroit niggas kind of got like a little more aggression to it when you more really just laid back and you want people to hear you and understand you.
Yeah.
But you are a J fan.
Oh yeah, ain't no question about it. And I think it's just, you know, symbolic of the influence. And I think
That's your era, obviously.
Absolutely, ain't no question. And I think that, you know, one of the things that like me and my team personally and professionally that we talk about a lot is just how, that's why niggas, at least me, appreciate the Griselda movement so heavy, is because it's like we're starting to see new material that resonates with what we came up on. Okay. And we're not forced to have to deal with all of the new shit, which is dope. Mm-hmm. Like I love a lot of the new shit. It's just being honest, you know, some of those spaces is not really where I'm at.
It's not relatable for you.
You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be. Yeah, so that's
speaking of Griselda.
Yeah, speaking of Griselda, shout out to Bodie, just another Detroit hard hitter who, and really, you know, it's really so refreshing to see him starting to get a lot of the acclaim that is well deserved.
Absolutely.
But he been on, you know, anybody who from the city at least who claim to really know, Bodie been on this shit for a minute. And it's, you know, for him to get the look that he's getting and the opportunity, and then us to weave in the relationships that we got. Shout out to my nigga Jay, and Weeze out of that Loyal Fam camp. And again, you starting to see, you know, what we about is making sure that everybody is getting they due. Everybody is getting their acknowledgement. This shit ain't just happening overnight. Niggas is really working and putting their relationships in play to really make things work for the collective. And so it wasn't hard. Again, shout out to my nigga Jay out of that Loyal Fam camp. Just, you know, being a real nigga and just, you know, we come up together and we affiliated through some whole other shit. But niggas recognizing like, nah, nigga, you got a torch right now. Let's weave that shit in. And it worked. And so it was, you know, it came about organically. We was in the studio. Weeze and Jay called up Bodie off their relationship and he came through. And really, we didn't know what to expect. It was just some real niggas in the room. We did the record and we all stepped back and looked at the record and was like, what the fuck?
Because Bodie's nominated for like 3 Grammys right now on the low.
Shit, that nigga on the fucking Jay-Z's Listen 2020.
Songs on Jay-Z's 2020 that Bodie's on.
That shit hold more weight to me than a Grammy.
Yeah,
for me personally, you know what I'm saying? Just to know like that's what a nigga chose to listen
and he's
to.
Authentically Detroit. And that's what I love about Bodie is that he looked like a nigga that could be walking into the liquor store. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, love it. Yeah, Bodie.
Nigga Lucy, I don't know, I'm just talking shit. But he reminds me of a nigga that's regular. You know what I'm saying? Regular shit.
I can't wait for Bodie to hear that shit.
So that's what I like about him is that he seems approachable. Even following his social, like I really like him as a person.
Yeah, Bodie Bodie is just a reflection of we talk about all the time.
But indeed,
yeah, it's just another side of Detroit music that hasn't always got the light, but now it's on there, and so we just organically, you know, without all that dick sucking and extra shit, just real niggas doing real shit. We did a record and now it's, you know, we just shot a video for it. Shout out to Diego.
Your videos are just next level for me. I always say that, but I enjoy real videos.
Yeah, I appreciate
it's
that.
It's not more the lifestyle thing. It's like almost a concept to the lifestyle.
Yeah. And
so that's what I really like.
We went after that in this, in the most recent video we did. Shout out to Weeze and Diego, we in Bodie. So we got a record coming. Y'all look out for that. I promise you. If you fuck with this kind of shit, it's gonna hit.
And that's what's dope because Diego shoots a lot of videos for the city, but your videos look nothing like the other videos in the city.
I appreciate that.
It's actually like a MTV Jam type video.
Yeah.
A BET 106 in Park, that type of shit. We used to watch these growing up type of videos. Yeah. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time and actually perfecting your craft and going into the concepts, because concepts is what grabs attention. Yeah. And so you kind of you made it a conscious effort, I feel like, of trying to grab attention. Not just lyrically, but visually, because visual is very important.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna just tell niggas, man, there's a couple real niggas still left out here.
It is.
There's a couple real niggas still left out here.
Real niggas come,
Yeah, that type of shit. And again, just dude, man, shout out to Border Buck, the whole 8. My nigga Nick out there in New York. We shot that Talking Crazy video in the middle. No, we shot that bitch in the middle of Harlem. It was pieces from Times Square where we did, but we shot that video right. I called up who I knew we could hold accountable in case some shit went wrong.
Your wordplay as a person is retarded.
Yeah.
So niggas gotta know the nigga got a crazy wordplay.
Yeah, I get. You gotta know that.
So all those niggas think
so there's only two types of people in the world.
And then on the fact that he just go with his flow. So you actually pick up an album and actually download the nigga say some shit, you gotta rewind and go back and be like, he said that. Yeah. That's what I like about you. I know I didn't know at first that you were an artist. We started off as
for sure, doing a podcast. Yep.
So when he said about rap, I was like, I could see that.
Yeah.
But it isn't just, I'm gonna say this too. There are a lot of people that rap, and then there are people that are hip hop. You are hip hop. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
To me, hip hop is more important than being a rapper. Any nigga can pick up a mic and say, I rap. But niggas are not. I remember Babyface Ray told me I was a student of the game. He was student of hip hop. And
shout out,
that was respect for me, because I appreciate that as a woman, for one.
Sure.
And as a person that actually loves music and listens to all music too. But hip hop is hip hop. That's a culture of black people, especially us, our parents, where it initially probably started in the 80s, like that shit.
Hell yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah,
they thought hip hop was gonna be a come and go.
They did.
30 plus years.
Yeah, and I would say even to speaking to that, it's kind of like the reason why, I think we able to kind of do what we doing today is because of that the fact that rap wasn't just some fly by night shit. You know what I'm saying? And so now we enter into a realm where, we got this, my man Dance likes to call it luxury rap. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of, you know what I'm saying? And we starting to get off into that. And but yeah, like when you talk about artists that I really fuck with from the city, like Ray, as a nigga, I really appreciate niggas who I can look and see their progression, and niggas who stuck with their shit even when it wasn't always the most popular, and when it wasn't always, everybody wasn't always fucking with it. And just seeing niggas like Ray, seeing niggas like Peasy, being inspired by niggas like Vezo, outside of the fact that I personally think them niggas are really good at what they do, but the fact that these niggas represent and they from my city and they stuck with their shit and they didn't fold. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, they getting a lot of acclaim right now.
Like I said, niggas all the time, Ray 2021 is Ray's year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's, I think, for Detroit artists, period, like we are coming next level. It's a lot of niggas that's fucking with different people. These fucking with Gucci Man. You know what I'm saying? You with the Boldy. Like, this is a big deal. Detroit is we on the map at this point. I think 2021 is gonna be a different year for hip hop in Detroit.
Yeah, and I think it's just I think it's our time to really and I just appreciate the fact that every side of Detroit music is really getting the shine. So whether it's the Boldy shit, whether it's the Ray shit, whether it's the Doughboy Cash Out shit, whether it's the young nigga shit, Cash Kid, the young Cam De Niro, the boys out of Flint is lighting shit up crazy right now. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just really good to just be from Metro Detroit and to finally see us and the shit, the culture, the look, the flow, the whole movement, just see all that shit on Front Street.
They weren't taking us serious with hip hop for a while.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, you sit around niggas like Ro, and you sit around niggas like Marv One, which are the type of people who help me and have helped me keep my pen sharp, and you talk to a nigga who's as experienced like Ron Dance, or even the business owners, District 81 and North Bar, Off Rip, and all these guys who have put, obviously dog shit. I don't know if these niggas know, but like I've sat around these niggas for years and just listened to conversations and watched these niggas go through shit, try to make plays, shit fold, shit work, shit not working, and
they never gave up.
What's going right now, I just take it as a personal responsibility to make sure that maybe those guys won't be the headliners, but to make sure niggas don't ever forget it's because of the moves that have been made over the last 15, 20 years, because of the losses that have been taken. When niggas been, it's not like Detroit niggas ain't been trying to get on. You know, there's an old story. I don't know the particulars of the story, but there's some seriousness or some validity to it. There's a story about when, I don't know if you remember that Second Street Lords album. And remember, there was a lot of features on there from like Rockefeller and State Property. And the story goes that that came because there was an attempt basically to get Jay-Z on a record. And true Detroit fashion, you know what I'm saying, niggas came through and basically I think, if I'm not mistaken, the way I've heard the story, it was kind of like niggas basically was like, hey, we want to get Jay-Z on the track. They had a direct line. And basically niggas was like, man, them Detroit niggas, let's get them a crazy ass number so we could just shoot them niggas off. And the niggas said the number and them niggas was like, oh, that's it?
What up?
We ready right now.
Cause I bet I know niggas that held the purse to that.
Niggas said, come on.
That's nothing.
And then it was like, oh shit, these niggas really ready. So then it's like, all right, well, I guess, you know what I'm saying, I'm assuming.
You know, the old wives tell us that Jay never liked to be for real. That was always the old wives tell us.
I'm gonna
hope not.
He
ain't met us yet.
That's it. And he can't, that's no way it could be. I mean, well, I can't say it's no way.
That was back in them days.
I say this, man, the nigga, you know, Brody was just on that nigga list, so I mean, he like him enough.
I'm a huge Jay fan. I always say Jay raised me. I appreciate the music that he has given us the last 25, 30 years. Switching gears.
Been good shit.
Who is D Rick? Where'd you get this name? When did it start? You started rapping? Let's just go all into it.
I've been rapping all my life. Anybody that know me personally knows I always been rapping. It's just, you know, been a thing that's in me from.
He was almost a member of Criss Cross, by the way.
I wasn't almost a member, but some shit happened at the Fox Theater one night. I had my shine, and you know that shit. That shit's just what it is. You know, come fuck with me in Clubhouse or come see me offline, and you can get that direct story. It's a hell of a story though. But long and short, man, just I've been doing music all my life, raised on it. You know, my parents always loved music individually and collectively, and the D Rick name actually. When I was in high school, I went to Cass. And, you know, pretty much everybody, you know, I played football and everybody in there was just always, everything was your first initial and last name, right? Jay Stevenson, right? M. Nick, everything. That's just like how everybody talks. So really niggas knew me as D Black, but I had a partner named Lil Will who was kind of short. And when he would say my name in the hallway, he would just say, you know, Derek. And there's a million niggas in Cass, walking Cass hallway. So he say my name. I don't even think shit of it because I don't know it's him. He's so short, I turn around, I can't see the nigga. And one day that nigga cut into me so cold, and that nigga was like, hey bro, you be on that bullshit, you know, acting funny in the hallway around the hoes, you don't want to speak to a nigga type of shit. And I'm like, man, what you talking about? Hey bro, I swear to God I didn't know that was you. So the nigga started saying D Rick in the hallway, so when I heard it, I would know that's Lil Will. And then I would turn around and, you know, over time, you know, niggas just hear everybody say D Black or D Rick. And for some reason, you know, niggas was saying D Black for a long time. And when they heard that D Rick shit, it just stuck. And I started looking up and teachers start calling me D Rick. Cause niggas, I'd be like, nigga, you don't even know me like that. And it just stuck. And you know what I'm saying? It really ain't no, you know, it ain't no extra shit other than that. It's not like I had a moniker, a rap name that came to my head or something. It's just, cause it's really just me.
Right, it is.
I don't have the MC such and such and all that shit.
You don't even with your music, it's just you. Cause when we talked about before, you have a close relationship with your mother, your aunt, your grandmother.
Grandmother, God rest her soul, Dorothy Dickey.
And your father was away for a while.
Yep.
And your mother would play those oldie but goodies and all that good shit. I think that I hear that in the music. I hear
I bonded with music in a lot of ways that I think, you know, like a lot of other people who come from my environment, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I really bonded with music, you know, unintentionally. It kind of served as like therapy through some, you know, through some times that maybe they're the reason why I didn't think times when my pops was gone was so rough, because there was music to really fill some voids and hear some.
He wasn't there as long as you could remember, so it was like he just wasn't there. Yeah,
and you know, we still, you know what I'm saying, shout out to, you know, all of the uncles, you know what I'm saying. I don't shy away from the fact that there's too many niggas who, you know, didn't get the blessing of having fathers and didn't have uncles. So again, when I get the opportunity, I always, if I die tomorrow, I want people to know that I appreciated them. So,
I understand.
You know,
that.
that's
my own person. I always got this one quote, and I think my dad, when Jay-Z say, always been the right choice, understand, every choice that you made it for his fam.
Absolutely.
Like those penitentiary chances he made was for us to have a good life, although his life was cut short. So although I have held resentment and anger toward him, when I listen to Jay, I feel like Jay raised me in a way I was like, I understand the choices that you made.
Yeah, and that made...
So it's songs like that, Battle for the Fallen Soldiers, that make you feel like it was therapy. You're able to get through it.
Hell yeah. Ain't no question about that. And I think that's some of the things that I think I bring to the game and that I bring to my rap is that those are the kind of things that I incorporate. I don't lose sight. Like I can, it's not even about a brag. It's just a reality. Like, niggas talk that shit and I'm like, nigga, when that nigga Weed say, nigga, loaded them 18 wheelers up, let's see who make it first. Like niggas be capping. Like me and that nigga, that shit was real life. And it's so real that it came with consequences at times I can't cap. I wasn't prepared for them.
Right.
And only by the grace of God and through the relationships so I don't take those experiences and those encounters for granted and just use it like it's just some shit I could say. Cause I know I've seen the other side of a lot of that shit. I've seen the pain and the hurt, and I've seen the resentment and the pain in people's faces who had to deal with the after effects. And I think that's some of the shit that Jay-Z has always been really good, and other artists have been really good at conveying. It's like, yeah, it's a whole lot that come with that shit that's really good and that's really dope, but it takes niggas who really tapped in to convey this whole nother side to this shit. And niggas say that, but when you sit next to people who crying and who have to live 20, 30 years, 10 years after all of the acclaim, after all the minks and the cars and the money, and when that shit ain't there, and you have to still see the after effects of that shit, at least for me, it changed, it did something for me. And so I try to make sure that, I keep that in the back of my mind and when I'm writing, because that's just the world that I come from.
You're a storyteller though. And that's always appreciated.
Yeah, I am.
When you're able to tell a story and you're able to visualize the story. I appreciate artists like, of course, you, and I listen like Dave East, Nas, people like that, who actually, you can visualize the story in your head. You can create your own video.
Yeah.
When you listen to certain songs, and with your album front to back, I'm able to almost put the story.
What's your favorite song on the album?
I told you Talking Crazy is my favorite, because I'm a crazy talking person my damn self. So it's like, it just hit for me. But what is your favorite song?
So Talking Crazy is my favorite song only because as a rapper, awards are cool and streams and popularity is cool. But when you really doing something from a passion standpoint, you look to be respected by your peers and people who do the same thing. And so Talking Crazy is my favorite because it's the one that Marv 1 taps you and says, nigga.
You went crazy.
It's the one that the nigga like Rose say, bro, what the fuck? It's the one that Ron Dance to this day, we got this kind of little joke where he says, bro, I hope you enjoyed it, because you'll never write a verse ever. You'll never write a verse that good ever again.
I heard this beat instantly. I was like, I wanted to hear more immediately, And I remember when I first listened to the album, I was just smiling from the whole time. I was shocked. I wasn't shocked, but I was like, this is some good sounding, a great body of work.
Yeah.
That's independent for one, that come from the city for two, and it's like, I know this nigga. And just because you are, again, a student of the game, a person that loves hip-hop in its totality, it's just something I personally appreciate, though.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's my favorite. But then I ain't gonna cap, man. Hearing niggas now, like right now, and it's like different periods, different songs become my favorite. A lot of niggas is really fucking with In the Field. There's a video. By the time y'all see this interview, it probably will be already dropped. But
it'll be your third video.
Yeah, it's a video coming, and that's with me and Weez. And the acclaim that I get back from that, I remember me and Weez was borderline. We wasn't even really set on putting that record on the project. It was actually, that's probably the oldest song on the whole project. And we did the record. And shout out to Red Karan, who is my go-to engineer, who I deal with a lot, and he actually produced that record. And we was kind of on the fence, and long story short, we ended up putting it on there. And I just remember putting it on there and being like, yeah, this is a dope ass record, and I really wanted it. I was more excited to put it on there because it gave us another chance to, do something that featured Weez on it. And
because you all about putting your people on.
Man, because
stay blessed in that way.
And truth be told, because we come from so much shit where we done seen so many hoe ass niggas do hoe ass shit, and just be like, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that shit be like on my mind. Like, nigga, I gotta make sure niggas know. Like, nah, bro, we just moved till we was raised like that. That's not even that's literally how we was raised.
You got some niggas that talk about it, niggas that be about it.
Nah, we
and that's why I'm a person that like artists. I know and I can tell by the things that they say. And they actually been through the struggle. And that's what I love about your music. Like I said, Bodie shit, the whole Griselda movement. Like this right now, what's going on in hip hop. I like to be able to know, like, I really believe that nigga sold bricks for real. And I'm really gonna play that shit over and over again.
Didn't sell.
I'm not gonna choose.
Didn't sell anything to anybody. Don't come looking for me. Don't come ask.
Not a word, but at least it sounds like it.
What's the one little nigga name out of there? What's the one little nigga? The little Crip nigga with the gold teeth when he was on the video with Vlad. And that nigga said, hey man, what that blue color mean? Nah, it ain't no color. Nah, it ain't no color. Nah, it ain't no color. Nah, that don't mean nothing.
You look like Casanova and be fucked up.
Listen, bro, I work at,
Vlad fucks niggas up.
What that nigga Nas say? I live a clean life. I don't even steal cable.
Man.
I speak for myself. Now my niggas, they're slaves.
Speaking of that, just a quick, how do you feel about King's Disease? I've heard mixed reviews. A lot of niggas ain't rock with it. I like it.
I mean, Nas is Nas. I think you're a Nas purist. So I think I will say that, when it comes to artists like that, I think that sometimes we're so caught in the nostalgia of them and just wanting them to still be relevant that we kind of give them a little leeway in some of their music. In my honest opinion, I love Nas. Always been one of my favorite rappers. King's Disease is just not really one of my favorite projects.
What's your favorite Nas album?
On any given pound for pound, on any given day, I'm gonna tell you Nas's best album was Ellematic. That was his best album.
I fell in love with hip hop.
That might not have been all of his best rapping. I'm sure you could pull.
My favorite album is Lost Tapes.
Yeah, Ellematic, obviously has a hip hop staple project and all that kind of shit. But for me, pound for pound, Ellematic is just. I remember hearing that and it changing me. So that's how I reference like music that's really good.
I could play every day. Him and AZ.
Yeah,
I could play it every day. Yeah. So speaking of that, let's talk your top 5. Let's get into that.
Top 5 ever. So I'm gonna say.
I thought this is a hard conversation
because people frame it wrong.
Because there's so many good people and
absolutely. So words. I always say this shit and not being funny, but my friends hate it. But I'm serious. Words have meaning for a reason. Top can't mean favorite because otherwise, why is there 2 different words? So there's your favorite, and then there's the top, and there's 2. And there's 2 different. So for me, I can give you my favorite list is not necessarily going to be my top. So I'll tell you who I think the top rappers of all time are. Okay. My top 5. Okay. I'll give you Jay-Z.
Not in that order.
No particular order. Okay. Just these are the top rappers of all time. Right. Jay-Z, Eminem, Drake, Snoop Dogg. And this 5th one is always tough for me. Today I'm gonna tell you Lil Wayne. Now again, this is the top rapper. So when I say top, I'm looking at shit like longevity. I'm looking at shit like impact. I'm looking at shit like influence. Obviously, I'm looking at talent, all that other shit.
Favorite.
If you ask me my favorites, Royce da 5'9",
yes.
Black Thought, Jay-Z, Drake, and there are only 4 favorite. I only have 4 favorite rappers ever. There's no. No, he's up there. The problem what happens with a person like Pac, who is, the problem with Pac is that for me, if I start getting into favorites, there are other niggas I gotta put in there. And it just, on any given day, absolutely, my 5th spot is Tupac. But also on any given day is Biggie. And on any given day is Snoop.
Yeah, but Biggie just doesn't have a catalog as large as broad.
But that's the cool thing about favorite is that you can factor in all kind of shit that matter to you.
Right.
That may not matter to the next nigga.
Right. And you are, I think again, you are great at judging music. So with all this said and done, we're gonna wrap this up. What is your mission with Here and Now?
So my content team, shout out to Jay Johnson, will tell you that we got a lot more juice to get out of that squeeze, right? We got a whole lot more to get out of that rock. For me, the artist side of me is ready to move on. Me and Weezy got a project. That's the next project that's coming. And then I got a solo project coming up after that. So I'm really already in that mode. But Here and Now, my dream goal is for it to for people to come back to it and reference it and be like, consider it, my reasonable doubt. Like when that nigga didn't have nothing on the floor and it was just him, and you hear how crazy this nigga was talking on here. Do you see the composition of the song? That's what I hope it to be. But the long and short of it is, I just want it to be I want it to be held as a great entry to the game. Like, nigga, that's how you come in. When your first project, you come in serious, you sit down with people like Ellematic View, right? You put a team together, some all-stars, some niggas who names hold weight on both sides of the line, right? You come in being you, so we don't ever have to deal with no adjustment later on down the line. Niggas should be able to look back at Here and Now and say, that's the same nigga 10 albums later. We didn't see no person just. Music will shift and change, and you'll change your influences, but the person that I hope people find me to be out of Here and Now, I just hope niggas see that same person 10, 20 projects from now.
Better and better.
Hell yeah.
This was great.
I think so.
I think this was good. Great content, great interview. You know you're my dog for life. This was straight up no chaser with Ellematic.
Yeah, it was.
All right, episode 3. I don't know who's trying to get on.
Wiz.